I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just
gotta be you.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Johnny.
Gotta be me and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. We started this news network, blackusa.news, back in December 2020. It was our response to the COVID pandemic. We have since grown our network to have shows from Oakland, from New York City, from Baltimore, of course, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia. We've also had shows from Atlanta, from New Orleans, from Miami. And today we're going to be talking about the mayor's race. There's a mayor's race on May 14th, 2024. So it's less than a year away. And there are many issues that need to be addressed here in the city of Baltimore. Everything from how to deal with our young people, how to curb the violence, to how to make Baltimore more business friendly. I've said to you for years how Baltimore has this seemingly anti-business mentality. We also seem to have an anti-education mentality when you think about how much money we pay a school's CEO, and in contrast to the product that is being delivered. No Fortune 500 company is going to come to a city where the people are illiterate. And that's exactly what we are producing. You look at mass incarceration. Black people in America comprise some 13% of the population. Yet on the other hand, black men alone can make up about 44% of America's prisons. With 13% of the population, yet we're half of the prisons, with black women being the fastest growing demographic. When you think about housing, we do not own as much as we could and should. Some of us have been paying exorbitant rent for years on a house, 30, 40 years, and don't own anything. So, you know, you think about the vacant houses. At one point, I think the number was 16,000. That's what I remember Catherine Pugh talking about when she first ran for mayor. And so we have a young man who is coming on today. He's been an advocate in this city for some years now. I guess he's not very young, but he's been around. He's certainly been in the trenches politically. He's been working to help make Baltimore better, and he's a stand-up guy. Without further ado, we bring to the fore Mr. Michael Moore. Good morning, sir.
How you doing today, Doni? Good morning.
Good, good. How are you?
Oh, man, I can't complain, man. Running.
Running. So tell us about yourself, Michael.
I've started out with a nonprofit Lifting Hands mentoring program that worked with at-risk youth. It was going in to be a pretrial diversion program, doing fairly good in the community. That's been my main platform as far as the things that I've done. Before that, background with Fortune 500, I used to sell Comcast for a elite crew, as well as work for the Democrat Party. Unfortunately, at this time, I'm not a Democrat, but yeah, a lot of work from on the scenes, behind the scenes, being where I'm called and needed. That's been my service, and also serving the public has been my thing.
Tell us more.
When you say tell you more, the pretrial diversion program, it was a lot of kids with Department of Juvenile Justice that was basically, in so many words, on the wrong side of the law. And what my program was able to do was go in on their behalf to shorten their their sentences, or their probational time, to basically with work vocational. That was my atmosphere. We definitely did with work vocational training, and just taking a lot of these kids off of the streets. And it's sad with what's going on right now with the youth that's in trouble, because the program that was displayed was fit to soothe something as such.
Is the program still in play?
I put it down to basically, in so many words, to run this mayor race right here. It's a lot of bad blood in the city of Baltimore, and like you said, a lot of hindrance of stopping a lot of things that makes sense. And we got to figure out what's the problem with that. When you come with statistic data that works, as I remember Sheila spoke on, you don't stop that, you don't hinder that, you help that.
You mentioned Sheila. You worked on her campaign?
Sheila, I love Sheila. Yes, I did. I definitely did. Unfortunately, the current mayor, with some implications of doing some fraudulent activities that the courts weighed out and dispersed us amongst each other. But for the most part,
what?
Yes.
Put it in simple English. Simple English.
Okay. The current mayor with Smite brought charges against me that didn't stick, and
charges for what?
It was an assault when he actually assaulted me. Yeah.
How did he assault you? I mean, I know the story. You know the story, but we're on the news. What happened?
Unlawfully, he was not supposed to. He's supposed to know the law anyway. But unlawfully, you're not supposed to touch a person in a fashion that's not wanted or with consent from them. And he did a little bit more than touching. From the video that was.
You have to tell people the story. You're giving bits and pieces.
Do you want the backdrop? You want the backdrop?
That's why we're here.
Let's go, Doni. Okay, the backdrop. The backdrop is, I've worked with a Democrat. I've been recruited as a Democrat. They actually recruited me, and they took care of me well.
Who is that?
When I say the Democrats took care. The Democrat Party actually recruited me. I was spending my time in my days retiring from city life and on my property in North Carolina. But for the most part, they recruited me for the Ben Jealous campaign, and I actually thought Brandon was a great guy, honestly. And some issues had happened. I had lost a motorcycle, and in the midst of the motorcycle, I basically told the Baltimore Police Department that, hey, I got my motorcycle back. And when the process of them updating it in the computer never happened. So it got taken in Baltimore County, and I was arrested for my own motorcycle. So I come back and tell Mr. Scott, I say, if you're not going to basically help me out with it, I can get it out, but I need to sue the city to be reimbursed for my funding. Oh man, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. The whole time, as weeks go on, fees accumulate. So I said, okay, man, listen. It seems like you're not gonna be able to do that, which he proved out that he couldn't do. So I said, I don't have a problem with that. Let's do something else. I got something else for the city. Let's do this trash bulk cleanup that allows homeless people to make a couple dollars while they're in the transitional process of waiting for whatever it may be to get the services from the city to move on to basically not be panhandled. He takes it, put a spin on it, makes a committee, and now you have, I guess, a Brandon cleanup day throughout the city. And in the courts, I proved in the courts that he had actually given me the information by writing his John Hancock, excuse me, on the information to basically give me the further instructions of who he wanted me to meet after the business license came back. The business license supposed to took 6 months to come back. It took 7. In the 5th month, he made a committee saying that he wanted to clean the communities up. He also wanted to use the mentoring program. When you speak on the programs that he's basically been speaking on before he got in office, it wasn't Safe Streets. Safe Streets have no policies and procedures that deal with the police office to basically help enforce and as well as work concurrently together in the community. So he mad. I withdraw myself from what he had going on. I brought the charges up against him, and
You brought the
I guess he
charges
didn't like it. It was stealing of intellectual property. He didn't like those, and that's when he saw me that night, and literally
that this particular night was in front of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
right.
You were there.
Hassan, I had it on the live.
Hassan who?
Hassan Gardo. Hassan Gardo. He
Giordano.
Yeah, Giordano. I'm sorry, Hassan. Don't kill me. But Hassan saw the whole video, and the thing about that video
So you slow down.
Go
You're
talk
standing there in front of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. You're campaigning for Sheila Dixon. There's a debate inside.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Brandon comes from behind me and automatically starts shoving on me. And if anyone could have heard the live, they probably would have been a shock, because the thing that he had to say on the live was like it matched what was going on.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What did he say?
He was telling me, he said, is this a friendly show or
what did he say?
Okay. The man said, get the fuck out of my way more. And at the end of the day, watch your ass out. So it was like,
did he touch you?
Huh?
Did he touch you?
Yeah, that was when he was touching me. Actually, that was when he was in the process of touching me. Yeah,
so
yeah.
He brushed you.
It wasn't the brush, because I wasn't realizing where he was at, and I heard the crowd actually screaming his name. So when I heard him scream his name, I actually was looking up. So as I looked up and turned, he was coming from the side that I was turning to, and basically it was more of a shove. And then when I was like, what the hell? Realized that he was on my back, he kept shoving. So it was like, wow. Like,
and what did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I stood up according to the law, as the law say.
You popped him.
I don't take rights, but Brandon is not something that you want to fight. And he's not. That would not even be a considerable win. You understand? Not to be dramified, but Brandon is not. He was not the person that basically, in so many words, felt like he should have done what he done. So what? To the point where he shouldn't have. He's the person that he shouldn't have done what he's done. He shouldn't have felt like he shouldn't have done it. Because in the same, for instance, what he done was kind of.
He sold a wolf ticket he couldn't back up. Is that what you're saying?
No, man. I mean,
is that what you're saying?
I'm from East Side Baltimore. I don't know about none of that, but we ain't going for none of that neither, though. We very humble, very respectful, but we definitely can lose our cool as well, though. Anytime.
Okay, so let's fast forward. Why are you running for mayor? Have
I
you
mean,
filed? Have you filed yet?
yes, sir.
You have filed. You are a candidate for mayor of Baltimore for May 2024. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why are you running for mayor?
Man, I mean, through the business models and all the models that he's basically infringed upon, I'm pretty sure that with that being stated, if he can do that thing, that's one thing. But throughout all this turmoil, I was offered the IDS task force position
What
to
is
basically
IDS?
identifying systematic racist wordplay. That's basically changing up a little bit of what we got going on in the amendments of the Constitution. So I figured, like, hey, man, if they can do that, I've already been working with the youth in this area. We're talking about crime, which is the same area, and then we're talking about identifying wordplay. So if they want me to do those type of things, why would I do those things under his administration to basically allow him more credit than he ever deserved? When really I can do more for the people, I can do more with the youth, I can do more for the seniors. I can do more for the chickens, more for the cats, more for the dogs, and the dead with the budgets that he's been playing with at this time. So it dawned on me. Let's get something done. And to the bare minimum, we know for a fact that a lot of people didn't have a plan, as Mayor Dixon always does. But without a plan, you automatically going to be listening to all the mouths that speak to your ear. So, like you said, it's about raising money, and not only about raising money, it's about basically having business friendly to come into the city so we can stop taxing and putting the burden of the city on the people.
You know, running for mayor is a huge task. And then serving as mayor is even larger because it's a thankless job. Are you ready for that? Are you prepared for that mentally?
Man, I done things for people who will never know what I've done. So, you know, when you're in services, it's
What
not
does
about.
that mean? What does that mean?
I
You got to
mean,
give us.
let's talk about the correctional institutions. Like we got Commissioner Harris, right? Me and Commissioner Harris, through me breaking down what the jail system was missing.
Hold up. You talking about Police Commissioner Harris'
Yeah,
son?
that's my guy. I can't believe that he just up and left like that. Still, I don't know how and why, but
he had to go. I mean, that's how the game goes. The elections next year.
Yeah, okay.
He had to go. That's just par for the course from my experience.
Okay. With you saying it, I feel a little bit more idle, but
he had to go.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't feeling that at all. But yeah, being that from legislation pieces of mine to Commissioner Harris, we automatically brought better infrastructure and caused less problems within Baltimore City corrections, because Baltimore City corrections it's infested with a lot of gang activity. And what me and Commissioner Harris did was curb.
It's Harris' son. Harris' son.
What we did was curb the violent activity through the daily interaction. Like if you're hearing around right now, you're hearing that the jail system got iPads and they got like a better statute of living. Yeah, those are things that I actually went in myself to basically approach the commissioner on, and then with me approaching, he adjusted it as well, fixed it. And I hear it's pretty decent right now.
Now he's the police. He's not corrections.
No, he's not. But being the commissioner, he oversees all of that.
No, he doesn't oversee the prisons.
Not the prisons.
So why didn't you go for city council first?
I didn't want to go for any position, honestly. I like serving the people. But if I got to be able to get something done and want to get something done, I'm definitely going to take the seat that actually allows you to get something done. I don't want one section to experience what Moore brings. I want the whole Baltimore City to basically interact off of what Moore brings.
What do you bring?
Man, I bring things that relieve them, as well as help them, as well as get into the root cause of what's going on behind the scenes. Because, I feel like Baltimore is a city that's prone to lawsuit, all due to the fact that they don't run down the policies and procedures. It's a friendly network, which is great if you in the circle, but outside of the circle is not meeting the people that it needs to meet. And city function needs to be functioning at a high level in order for people to receive the services. And delaying the message of the monies being allocated is what we got now in the city of streets of Baltimore.
During the introduction of this show, we have a 2-minute clip that runs, and Dr. Zollicoffer says in that clip that we have a health problem in that we don't like poor Black people. What do you think of that?
You only as poor as your mind, because business models is what's going to guarantee you monies anyway. So if you can't really find within yourself an attribute that makes your business more successful, then you're going to be poor. Because inflation budgets.
I think you're missing my point. You kind of mentioned it earlier that there's this dichotomy in Baltimore where those of us who are upwardly mobile, those of us who are making progress, we don't want to look at poor Black people and the issues that, let's say broke Black people, because poor is a mentality.
Right.
People without money, people who make decisions that don't lead to more ownership. We make decisions that lead to more of us being renters. We'll spend money to go to a party, but we won't spend money to go to college.
That's crazy.
Or to trade school. Our young people, they will stand on the corner 14, 15 hours a day, but won't put 8 hours a day on a 9 to 5. And quite often it's because they don't believe that they can get a job. They see it as a drag. We have fatherlessness. You talk about all of the prisons.
That's the main thing.
What's that?
Fatherlessness. And with that being the main thing, that's when the village has to understand that if we are neighbors and you're raising your kid to be an upstanding citizen, and I'm raising my kid to do whatever I do, go out, party, whatever. If your goodness of what you teaching your child don't pour onto my child, ultimately what I'm doing will pour to my child. Pour onto your.
Your volume went down. I don't know what happened. Your volume went down. Your volume went down, Michael. Your volume went way down.
I think I had a problem with my phone wrong.
Okay, I tell you what. Why don't you go out and come back in, okay? So we're talking with Michael Moore, and he's running for mayor of the city of Baltimore, and clearly he's not satisfied with what's happening here in the city of Baltimore. He's talked about mass incarceration. He's talked about reaching the youth. He's talked about business. You've heard it for yourself. and he feels as though he can do a better job than the current mayor. Being mayor, of course, is a thankless job, whomever the mayor should be. He mentioned his work, his campaigning for the Democratic Party, is being recruited by the Democratic Party. I think he has some, he's paid homage to Sheila Dixon, former mayor. And when he comes back, we will try to get a little bit more out of Michael Moore. There's an election May 14th here in the city of Baltimore. Let's try him again. How you doing?
Yeah, I apologize.
It's okay. Technology. Okay, so what do you want people to know about Michael Moore for mayor?
I'm here to serve. I'm not here to look good. I already do that. And, you know, I've lived a life for my life as well as another person. And, you know, I just want to show people that first, no matter the diversity that you come from. Secondly, you can't really go off on what we've been taught far as Republican, Democrat. I don't care who you are. If you got the best interests of the people, I'm all for it. And then not only that, every politician that's in your district that represents you, if they're doing a great job, you should have some type of kickback. And when I say kickback, you should receive some type of perks. You should be getting some taxes cut. You should be getting some type of hefty grants. And what I've seen out in Baltimore County, we're working with the Democrat out there, their constituents get out in the community and they pass out funding for schooling with these different type of classes that they got going on, as well as colleges, as well as courses. With some fashion or fact that you should be getting some type of benefit from the person that you're voting for, period.
Tell me about the schools, Michael.
I would automatically pop that back into the system. And not only that, we would have to have new policies set in because, for one, that $500,000 paid to the CEO, to the chairman of the school board, that's too much. The teachers could use that. Not only the teachers could use that, some of that funding could go to some of these after schooling programs, because school is a critical state in Baltimore City at this point. Because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to ultimately have 5-year-olds willing to walk out of class, and with parents that allow them because of the lack of education is not being met. Now, with that being stated, it will also have a criteria. You got to meet these quotas. Like the police department have quotas, you would have to meet these quotas to show that you're moving the school system in the right direction. It automatically needs to be tied back into the city, because it seems like allowing them to do their own thing, the funding has gotten confused on what it's supposed to do and who it's supposed to do it for, obviously. And then not only that, we need more hands-on for our visionary learners. We got to bring vocational training back.
What's a visionary learner? I'm just
visionary learners are the statistics, the IDS, what they want me to identify. You go to Rome, you see written letters. You go to Egypt, you see drawn out pictures. I believe drawn out pictures taught everybody in some sort. So we all are visionary learners. But with that being stated, Black ethnicities are the most crucial at visionary learners that's not being fed the way that they need to learn.
I see. So I take it you don't particularly care for the school CEO, Dr. Sonia Santalisa.
Man, children are my passion, because I don't want to get old and raise a person that's unaware, that don't know what they're doing in life, because they turn out mean. But for the most part, if you're not doing right by the people, I'm not really for you. Honestly, I'm not really. We done took the jobs from celebrities, and and I just want to say this: everybody want to be Miss Dixon, but they don't want to be Miss Dixon. If you get what I'm saying, they want to have.
No.
Okay, let's break it down. Everybody want to look good, smell good, and do good policies and good work, but somewhere they missing a lot of beats. You get what I'm saying? And you only should be a celebrity in politics is when you've done something that you can stand on for the people. Because at the end of the day, it's the people who gonna uprise you anyway.
So you don't think you should start at the city council and work your way up to mayor, to council president, then the mayor? I mean, what about those people who have been on the council for 10, 15 years? And you know, I'm sure some of them might want to be mayor.
Hey, Donnie, you my man, so I'm gonna be real with you, man. You gotta. I can't sit here and say that I had a councilman mind. You understand? I can't say I had a mayor's mind, but I do know that what I was doing, that it could have been a national platform. So with that being stated, though, I always thought like the president. It's never if that's where they chose to sit at for all those years and got in the comfortability of their seats, I wish them well. But I'm not about to go in and step behind their shoes and try to do the same thing. Because at the end of the day, what's really going on is they got in content. It was a lot of opportunities that they could have stepped up and ran for office. We would probably never be here, honestly.
Okay. So how can people support your campaign?
You can go to the GoFundMe. You can support me that way. You can reach out to me, 443-953-8400.
When you said GoFundMe, you didn't give any information. You just said GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe is More for Baltimore campaigning. You can also basically reach out for me, More for Baltimore, MOOREFOR, Baltimore at gmail.com. And I gave out my number, and you can reach me on More for Baltimore on Twitter. More.
What's that phone number?
443-953-8400.
Is that right?
My man, Donnie.
Okay, tell us a little bit more. We got another 27 minutes.
Another 27 minutes. Well, let's talk about the Inside Out track, man. The Inside Out track is great for the black men in the communities. Inside Out is basically like saying, let's hold off on these outsider contracts. Let's find people within our city who have solutions to problems that can be fixed. So from there, we would invest inside of our people within the city. And if we put them with the right resources so their business can earn $100,000 a year, we as a city residents, we as a city officials will just be asking for a small 10% back. And from what I've surveyed on the streets, these guys, brilliant. And that is because what's going on is everybody's not getting their fair share. And honestly, when everybody is getting their fair share, it's only going to elevate everything else on a higher level due to the fact that everybody is commuting and dispersing. So basically, if they're just spending and giving and gaining, it's a circle that's going on. But what seemed to be happening in Baltimore City, as in one of the other cities, is that the money that's trickling, that's coming down, is not being met. So it's not a full cipher of a rotation from hand to hand, from the people to the elected officials and back to the people. This is supposed to be a transparency thing going on, and it's not. So
are you suggesting that the same people are getting the contracts? Nobody new, there are no new millionaires being made. Is that where you're going?
I mean, can't say there's no new millionaires because the ambition of people and people's desires are unmatched. But you know what's happened in Baltimore is they've been stumped. Their desires have been stumped out, so they don't even have a hope factor. And now it's about bringing back hope to Baltimore City, because with hope you can maintain and try to move on to another day. But without hope, we walking around in disparity and loss right now.
Is that what you see on the streets of Baltimore? Disparity, hopelessness?
I see the lack of information. And what happens is
we can find Jazzy Summer Nights in Port Covington. We can find the Preakness.
That's real talk. That's real talk. And you know, one thing about me, I don't do black or white business. I do great business. I do white business. So whereas though what happens is everybody can benefit from. And that's just a main platform of mine, because in the same sense, I don't want to just have one group of people feeling some kind of way while the other group of people are celebrating. No, it's the city. We can do more. It's Baltimore. We're supposed to be more. You understand? So the mediocre need to leave the office as well, because if they're not firing those pistons like they're supposed to, it's like an engine. If you got a broken latch inside of your engine, then that thing need to be removed, or it's going to blow your engine eventually anyway. So we need to get those kind of people that don't want to work these jobs, and get people in here that's eager to work these jobs. There's no reason that Shaniqua from around the corner should be having more people signed up with PPP loans than the SBA. That don't sound right. That baffles me right there.
What was that?
When you have these urban teachers to basically get the community more money than the SBA, that sucks. That sucks. If they running around looking for the SBAs, that's one thing. I'm gonna be running around looking for the Shaniquas, because with her talent, and her high level of effectiveness of doing what she do, it would be an asset to the city. And it's a shame that city officials with doctorates and degrees can't understand and get that done. That's mind blowing.
What would you say the biggest challenge is here in the city of Baltimore?
Right now, it's mental health, man. Mental health is like the biggest clog running through the city, because once again, you can go to the streets and find somebody in there with disparity, but then when in the midst of the conversation, life can be sparked because they got information, but they just don't know how to access and use it and put it to use, if that makes sense.
Mental health. So how would you address mental health? Say you were mayor today. What would be the first thing you would do to address mental health, the mental health challenges that we face?
Man, I would bring in incentives that basically get people to relatively get themselves checked out. Because in the same sense, we need to figure out where everybody at, so we can put them in columns, so we'll know, hey, this guy kind of on the edge right here, we need to get him this type of services. And she's a little mild tempered, so we're not going to really concern ourselves with the direct services she needs, but she may need other things, housing, such and such. But for the most part, it's an evaluation. We got to evaluate the situation. And then from the evaluation, we got to columnize it, line it up professionally. And then from there, we need to also basically go in to what we need to get done for the people outside of their mental health.
What would be the second most important issue besides mental health, next to mental health?
For my good white folks out there, we definitely stepping into the crime. And one thing I would say is prisons confinement is what got us here in the first place, honestly. So it's not gonna get us out of it. Once again, we need to make everybody included. Just because you feel like Tyrone that stay on the block don't serve a purpose, God don't feel like that. Tyrone have the whole hood following him, even though it's in the wrong direction. That's our fault. We supposed to caught Tyrone a while back to basically, in so many words, give Tyrone the knowledge to give it back to the people.
How would you address fatherlessness?
Oh man, that right there, it goes deep because of women rights. Women love the rights, but they don't really want to fight, and they don't really want to basically, in so many words, add the physical value that they can add. And when I say that, it's just like A woman may be a great fighter and she can be finessed and her arithmetics are superb. But when the time comes, put her in the battlefield, she may break down as if it's a frantic moment and help lose a war. But women's rights have basically messed up a lot. And not trying to say that we should take their rights, because that's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you're not, a judge should not be the only one that should be able to keep you calm or have you talking proper or acting like you have some sense. But being that nobody is over,
you're saying that the black woman has lost the respect of the black man. Is that what you're saying?
And in so many words. So, you know,
what can the black man do to earn back her respect?
Jump on this campaign, show her that you are an asset. Because like I tell black men in the streets, I don't care who doing what. From Black Wall Street, it was no Wall Street without the Black Wall Street. And it was only black because they learned to segregate these things. But for the most part, nothing is going to change until black men get involved, period.
I like that point. So I need to go refill my coffee. I want you to take a moment and tell people why they should vote for you. Okay?
I mean, it's clear to see logical practices that will easily get what we need to get done. And then from not only logical practices, with everybody playing their role. Everybody has a role. We just got to figure out where is our role. It's not going to be in diversity, hating, and racism, excuse me. But where it is going to be is middle ground. And where I feel as though our middle ground as people are at, our middle ground is definitely with our youth. Because black kid, white kid, Spanish kid, we all care about our kids. So we need to start from there as a standpoint. And then from that standpoint, branch off into other divisions. But not only that, I also believe that from starting with our youth and letting our kids blend together without our input, without our own judgments or prejudgments, and what will ultimately happen is through the creation of mixing things. If you ever had some things mixed, man, you know, they sometimes make the best things. So it'll be great to see a black kid maybe in love with a white kid, or not only that, they sharing business ventures. These things is needed because it's going to take universal law to bring back the black man to the sound mind to moving forward in life. And that's going to take other cultures of a race to blend us up to make sure that we get the necessities from the mental state that we need to proceed on.
Well, why do you think there's so much racism in Baltimore?
I mean, man,
great job.
If you watch it,
I like what you just said.
If you watch the Django,
I never watched it.
You better go check it out. You got Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, it's just like Frederick Douglass and E.B. Du Bois. They was fueling. You get me? And
I can't take a white guy making a mockery out of slavery. If it was a black producer who came up with it, maybe I could watch it. But I heard some comments from Quentin Tarantino that just I didn't like, didn't care for it. And actually, I think he said something to the effect that his movie was the best movie on slavery ever. And it's like, go sit down, little boy.
It was
because I know too much about our history to have.
It was totally reparation in the
to have someone make a minstrel.
Oh man, Donnie, my phone did it again, man. I got it. I need to do it again. I need to leave and come back.
Well, we're having a very interesting conversation with Mr. Michael Moore. He's running for mayor of Baltimore. Hello, Darius George Hall. Hello to my dear friend Michael Randolph down in Tampa Bay. We're having a conversation with Michael Moore about the city of Baltimore, the challenges we face. Most recently, we are talking about the racism. Okay.
Yeah. So you say, where does it come from? I mean, first of all, We got our black politicians that's 50 years new to this political game that we play right now. I give it 60, give or take, right? And they actually come in with a mind frame to thinking that they're going to actually get the monies of 400 years ago instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to open the door for my people. They don't do that. So there we go from right there. We can start right there. And when you got separation, and what you can basically do from separating, you can basically keep a certain population to play the middleman. And then he can balance out the white people as well as the black people. And I believe that the racism come in from the middleman. The middleman is he's playing double parts. He's playing with a double-edged sword. He's holding the white man hostage. He's not teaching the black man anything. And at the same time, because, you know, I just experienced this actually with my own interactions with a black white man. So with that being stated, those are the same things that happen in Wall Street. Black white men gave up what the program that was running, the operations that was running. You get what I'm saying? Which had it infiltrated. It's always been it. It's just like a bad snitch. But only thing this bad snitch is doing is spreading rumors and lies and reports. But not only that though, we got those white people that's also in their own little funk. It's 2023, and they still happy to see black kids getting hung in court. And he deserved it. Everybody deserves something, but the fact of the matter is, you want to voice what somebody deserves when it's counter opposite of what you normally see. And when I know for a fact that a lot of white kids learn to play with guns early, so I know mistakes happen early. They learn the motor machine operating early, so they driving early. They're doing things that's unlawful. So in the same sense, they're not being persecuted to the highest extent of the law. So in the same sense, it's like, wow, well, why do you look at the black kids like that? Man, we got to put all that behind us, man. That's like 1919, and we in the 20th century right now, man. We so further than that.
What do you think of the Baltimore Inner Harbor?
It sucks. It's nasty. And none of the attractions that was there are there now. It's sad to see, because it used to be a mixed crowd. Now you got a few polka dots, and then from a few polka dots, you got a bunch of Chinese men running around throughout the town visiting, but not really seeing anything that's worth seeing. That should not be. It should not be at all. No matter how many stores you got down there, what is attractive? Everybody going to eat, of course. You want people to really actually sit in downtown to keep spending their money, not just eat and go back home or go back to the next place where they came from. That don't make sense. That's supposed to be live, jumping. We used to always see something going on downtown in the center of the floor. The taxi's not even driving no more.
What do you think about Afram being out at Druid Hill Park?
Man, it's too far out. It's too far. Great grounding, but it's too far out. Great grounding, but you know, if that's the case, you could do the same grounding on Lake Clifton. You could do it the same way at Lake Clifton.
Afram used to be at the Baltimore Inner Harbor.
Being that it gets so packed, that's one thing. But for the most part, it still could be there. Because if you're thinking about the traffic jam and the commute, that's one thing. Lake Clifton is right from downtown, a straight shot. Tourists,
you know, I got to take issue with that. When you start moving things around, you kill it. If people are going to an event at this location, like Artscape, they've never moved the Artscape. Artscape is right there on Mount Royal. You know where it's going to be. True. It's there. When you start, I mean, Afram has been moved from the Inner Harbor to other spots downtown to Druid Hill Park. And then they changed the colors. African liberation colors are red, black, and green. I don't even know what the hell the AFRAM colors are now. It's like pink and fuchsia.
They sprinkled it a little bit, man.
Okay,
Your fellow Democrats down.
You see the colors on it is red, black, and green. Those are African liberation colors. No other culture. Israel, the Jews, they got the blue star, they got the white flag. America, red, white, and blue. You don't see America like fuchsia, light blue, and off-white.
That's the agenda, man. The agenda is real.
What agenda? Because those are our colors, period. And you you changing the colors. It's like you kind of watering it down. It's like black people, you're being a little too black.
Yeah.
You don't tell the Ukrainians they're being too Ukrainian. You don't tell the Russians they're being too Russian. You don't tell the Jews they're being too Jewish. Why is it that black people always have to compromise, seemingly?
Because everybody knows, education or non-educated, given the proper information, we can live just as well as all those other communities.
What do you think about the Baltimore Orioles?
Oh, man, I'm happy to see that they're on a roll right now. I'm happy to see that they've actually made a change where the money can be spotted and known where it went to. Because over the course of years, they've been up and down. But this year, they got something prominent.
What about the Baltimore Ravens?
I love the Ravens. I love the Ravens. I winning this mayor seat, I want a personal seat on the floor. I love the Ravens. And I'm glad that not only that, though, I'm glad that they shown diversity and universe to basically meeting Lamar. I got to give the owner a clap for that, because the city didn't think that it was going to fall in Lamar's favor. But I'm glad that it did. And that goes to show that somebody is making a transitional move from racism to, all right, man, maybe they okay. You understand? I can work with that.
Do you think you could work with this current governor, Wes Moore?
Wes Moore is real slick, if I may say. But I definitely could work with him, because not only that, my roots date back to Democrats, and most of the people that I'm in contact with are Democrats. So it's not a problem with me, because no matter what, we're here to serve, and we're supposed to be working together.
Could you work with the city council president, Nick Mosby?
Hell no. I would never work. If I won it and Nick wins the city council president, I would step down and pack my bags and leave. His type of politics do not deserve to be in Baltimore. I hate to say it, but it's the honest God truth.
How so?
How so? Let's look at the things that they've been allegedly under. Let's look at the things that, I know personally from interacting with people within the community. When we look at what him and his wife tried to do, far as the game of tennis that they wanted to play with the city, far as her being state's attorney and Nick being a mayor, man, even the trial case that they have going on at this time, she said it was him, he said it was her, and it's like, they don't even want to take accountability in their own personal lives. So how could I ever expect them to hold themselves accountable to the benefit of what me and the people in Baltimore go through?
Okay, we got 5 minutes. Anything you want to cover that we haven't covered?
I'll be in an event, a community event going on Pennsylvania Avenue, August the 12th. Come out.
What's the event? What is the event?
I'm not sure. They didn't tell me the flyers yet, but they just gave me that date. When I say they, the community presidents of that community.
Is this down the bottom of Pennsylvania? Is it
Yeah, by the shake and bake part. Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking to be out there as well, showing the support, as well as, you know, giving out files. I got something else called Where's Waldo within the city. So if you find me in the city and you find me 2 times and you take 2 pictures and tag me in them, if you take 2, I gotta treat you to lunch. But I don't feel like nobody is going to catch me 2 times to take pictures with me. And it's just something to keep engaging the people, because that's the main thing. We can't get messages across to the people if we can't engage them.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
I just want to thank you for having me on the show, man. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate you being gentle with me, because you can, with them behind the scene talks, oh, they get raw, y'all. Doni is not to be played with.
I believe everybody deserves a fair chance. You've been very serious about this, and if I didn't do it, you would harass me until I do.
All out of love, and I'm really thankful for you, Doni. Though, honestly, though, I'm really thankful, man. Because man, you always been guiding me, and you put a little bit more information on me. You get me, and you know everything that I have came with. Doni, check this out, and you took time out, because what we need to understand is it's a lot of young black men that's in the streets that's trying to do that, that's looking for these guys to reach out to. And I just want to thank you for taking out your time, because, man, Mr. Black Wall Street himself, man, is a busy fella, and for you to take out your time and just have time for me, man, that's humbling. That's all I ever needed anyway.
I see your passion, Michael.
Thank you.
I've suggested you run for city council first. You know, you got to learn. Who's your favorite mayor? Who's your favorite mayor?
It's only one. It's only one. And I ain't gonna say nothing right now, because I'm not gonna give her no credit. But it's only one. So you know, and I like her, because in my mind, she's what the epitome of what we are supposed to be at this point in time, and progressively moving from the time that we spent in Black Wall Street to now. And you know, she's still my baby, but she's not my baby right now. She stay out of the way.
She can fight.
Listen, she know I can fight.
My name is Doni Glover.
Stop starting stuff, Daddy. You starting stuff. and this might make me.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
Yo, please keep the peace, because I would hate to go to a function and she give me the little roll your eye thing. You know the little one she do, where she just act like she don't see you. I'm not trying to be annoyed like that.
No comment. My name's Doni Glover. We've been talking with Mr. Michael Moore. He's running for mayor. He is on social media. You said Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. More for Baltimore. More, number 4, Baltimore.
Oh, you didn't say that. Let's get your banner right. I don't want no stuff. You see me in the street, I ain't trying to. I'm getting older. I ain't trying to have to.
And what you think? You think I'm getting younger, Doni? I ain't getting young, man. I'm man. I can't even bend down to pick up pencils no more, man. It's hurting, man. It's hurting.
Well, you talking about the young lady. She works out. She boxes, kickboxes, and she got you by a few days, buddy. So,
but listen to this though. So
like you need to get in the gym.
I'll get it here though. This is where I get it at right here. I get it right here every time.
Thank you for joining us today. I think we had a lot of people tuning in to hear what you had to say.
Thank you so much, Don.
It is my obligation to make sure you have a voice, a platform to speak your piece. So,
and for that, Doni, I'll give you the exclusive whenever something exclusive is going on. I got you.
To God be the glory. Oh, we got a comment before we get up out of here. Daria says she is a black belt.
Hey, yo, stop. Hey, yo, why are we still talking about this?
My name's Doni.
She think I be passing these messages. She
gonna sidekick you, not me. I know how to shoot a roundhouse myself.
Well, guess what? While she's trying to sidekick me, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stand behind you, Donnie.
Oh. I'll be namaste. I have a Bible. Assalamu alaikum. First name's Glover. Thank you, Mr. Michael Moore. We're getting up out of here. Up to day down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper.
Amen.